Greetings, YouTube. I want you to imagine for a minute the unimaginable horror that a 10-year-old child would experience if they were raped by anyone, but in particular by their parent. 10 years old. That's what? Third grade? Fourth grade? Fourth grade, I think? I'm not positive. Fourth grader. Raping a fourth grader. Now, imagine that the 10-year-old gets pregnant. I haven't got words for that one. And then imagine the government of the state you live in says, no, you have to carry that fetus to term because we've decided that abortion is illegal. I don't know if you're aware of this, but in the United States of America, currently 174 women die in childbirth out of every million children delivered. 174. On a parts per million scale, that's 174, which, if you do any research, will show you that no business in the world is going to continue to exist at 174. So looking at purely as pragmatic, that's just an incredibly, unbelievably horrible number. That is an indictment of our entire medical community in America, flat out. They are failing. Now, do you know how many people die from abortions out of a million people? 4. I can count them on one hand. I don't even need all my digits. So, delivering a child in America as an adult is so much more dangerous than having an abortion. And you're expecting a 10-year-old to deliver a fetus? Can you even conceive of the damage that's going to do to that child's body, that child's spirit, and that child's mind? Even if she survives, she would live with that forever, on top of the trauma that she has experienced from being raped, let alone being raped by a family member. So now you've decided that the GOP is going to rape her again by forcing her to carry a fetus to term. Now, luckily, this child was able to go to Indiana, where there was a moral doctor willing to do their job and help her. If you're a doctor in Ohio and you refuse to help that child, I don't give a fuck what the law says. Take your damn diploma off the wall, shove your stethoscope up your ass, and go be a fucking plumber. You would let a 10-year-old child suffer like this. I don't care what the GOP says. Do your job. But no, this child had to go to Indiana. This child had to go in another state to get the medical care that she needed so that she could begin the process of healing, which is going to take her decades, not a short amount of time, folks. And I say this sadly from personal experience. It takes decades to overcome this. And the GOP wanted to make it worse. Now, I read something. I only read it in passing, so I'm not 100% sure where the source is from. But apparently some GOP politician made a comment on this case that this particular child should see this as an opportunity. For what? To crank her living hell to 11? Now, I'm hoping that the parent is prosecuted and spends the rest of their life rotting in a prison cell somewhere. And I'm not going to feel guilty in the least with the knowledge that pedophiles don't do well in prison. I really don't care. You rape a 10-year-old and I'm indifferent to your fate. I've gotten a lot harder over the last few years. The relentless attacks of the GOP upon our freedoms, our bodies, our citizens, our democracy has made me harder. And right now I'm okay with whatever happens to that parent, and I think the doctors that refuse to help that child should leave that particular field of medicine. They have no right to work in medicine anymore in my book. I don't care what the government says. You have a moral obligation to help that child, and you failed. As for the government, any politician that strips a human being of their autonomy is immoral. The GOP is a terrorist organization, and each and every one of them should be thrown in prison. They are a threat to our nation. They are a threat to our species. Not just an existential threat. They're trying to kill 10-year-olds. They do kill 10-year-olds if they happen to be black. And if they get to be older than that, they'll kill them anyway. The GOP is bankrupt, morally bankrupt. And this is one of the most egregious examples I can think of. They wanted a 10-year-old to carry a pregnancy to term. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to run these fuckers out of town on a rail.